right, everyone. Welcome into the press conference for the MVP's Big Easy Open presented by Flight Factory. We are here now with three Southern disc golfers. First, Matteo, can you give me a proper pronunciation of the park that the Pro Tour is playing at this week?
So I used to kind of say it like Mario, like Parc des Familles, but now it's no L, so it's Parc des Familles. Familia.
No L's,
No
Parc des
Ls.
Familles.
Okay, so no L's. You gotta drop the L's.
And then, what do you like to call it, Silas?
I call it PDF. It's real safe. I've heard that locally, so yeah, PDF. But then it's kind of if you know, you know. Some people don't know what it means, but
PDF feels good. It feels good and safe.
Feels official. Feels like you can't go wrong there.
And Cadence, they have you on the feature card this week. You grew up in Alabama. Can you talk about your experience playing disc golf in Louisiana? You just mentioned to me it's actually 7 hours away from your hometown.
This is my first time ever playing disc golf in Louisiana. The only time I think I've ever actually been here is driving through it to go to Austin. So this is my first experience with it, and it's been very, very different and interesting.
And Matteo, you yourself are also from Alabama, but it feels like New Orleans is one of your hometowns. Can you kind of speak on what it means for the Disc Golf Pro Tour to have its first stop here in Louisiana?
Super happy and proud of the No Team organization, man, especially from where they were 10 years ago, where it was just with the people, more of a vibe, 20 people, all the same people. Now to see what Nathan Farber's been doing and seeing the club grow in the last couple of years is simply amazing. And you hear a lot of people that talk the talk. You know they ain't gonna walk the walk, but Nathan Farber has done it, and I'm so proud. I gotta say, very proud of him.
And you have some history at this property before as well. You've played a tournament here. Can you speak on that?
I played every pot of gold here. It's about the only time, and we played the Battle of Barataria.
Yeah.
And I come here. I'm kind of scared to come out here by myself, man. The first time I came out here by myself, I pulled in by myself, and I walked to the fairway of Old Hole 1, and I looked over through the alleys, and I said, I think I'm going to go back to City Park, because it was kind of like I'm out there alone, snakes, kind of wildlife kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I kind of like only play here during tournaments because I'm completely terrified of snakes. So, no, but it's awesome to see this place grow. The amount of money they're putting into this park for us disc golfers to enjoy is just a beautiful thing.
And Silas, you are from Louisiana, but it's Baton Rouge?
Yeah.
And how far away is that from New Orleans?
It's about an hour from New Orleans, about an hour and a half from here. So I grew up playing in New Orleans with the No Team Club, and just a very rich community for disc golf in general. But it really, I feel the same as Matt. Like, it's been incredible to see the growth and the production of this that's been spearheaded by Nathan Farber, and it's very true. Like, I heard a lot of rumors that this was going to happen, and I had people reach out like, "Is this true?" And I'm like, I hope so. Like, but and then it happened even sooner than I could have hoped for. So. I love playing down here, and it's super cool to have a big pro tour happening.
Well, before we kind of jump into the details of this new longest course in disc golf pro tour history, I want to talk to you guys just about the setting. This is a new stop on the tour, and this is a very historic and culturally rich city. And Silas, I want to start with you. What do you think of when you think of the city of New Orleans?
I think, like you said, like very, very culturally rich. I think of music, I think of food, I think of the history that the city has. The city is full of overcomers and triumph stories and things like that. And so I think of the Pelicans, who aren't very good, but I went to a game last night and they won, and that was awesome.
All right.
So and when I think of New Orleans disc golf, it's very similar. Like, I remember playing tournaments. The pot of gold that Matteo continued to win, but I was, a child at that point, and I was playing advanced or novice or whatever I was playing. And you just have this super old Cajun dude who's cooking jambalaya in a massive cast iron pot that's had jambalaya cooked in it for who knows how long, and he's, stirring it with, a big paddle, and man, you eat that, and then you go play your second round, you come back, you eat more. They got homemade cobbler and wings, and it's just like those are some really, really fond memories for me. And so to come back and see some of those people out here again, and to have this setting happening here it's truly a blessing, because a lot of those events were Southern National events, which was started by Jim Oram, Matt's dad, and it was like its own separate sanction, not against the PDGA, but I guess not the PDGA, and so like growing up, I didn't have PDGA numbers. A lot of the guys I played with didn't have PDGA numbers. Like we just played in that setting. So to think that a state that came from just that, without a whole lot of like official things happening in that capacity, that's only had 2 8-years ever, to have this here now is just like so cool, and such a cool like full circle moment where like the culture is getting to experience like disc golf at like the highest level.
Wow. Thank you, Silas. And Matty, I'll ask you the same. What does the city of New Orleans mean to you?
I think he's Silas. Didn't know he had that much, but I think he hit it right on the point. Like the food, the music, the triumphs of the city is like, I think he nailed it exactly on the point of that part. But what always made me fall in love with New Orleans disc golf from day one is my best buddy at the time, still one of my good friends, Eric Tracy, lived right next to Lafayette Park in Metairie. I spent any time I had, and especially if I won a good licking tournament, and I was like, all right, I'm going to go blow some of this in New Orleans. So I was here all the time from the kind of upcoming from Katrina, 2007 to 13, I would say. I was here a lot. But, going to Lafayette Park, I know most people forget that I can only go east and west on I-10 most of the time. I don't really go to northern Alabama that way much, honestly, unless I kind of have to. So I've seen the whole Gulf Coast, and I know it really well. But going to Lafayette Park, there's another culture that you see when you go in that park, and you see I call it the real world, because there's so many cultures, so many people walking around the park, and I fell in love with that. I felt like this place is just a great community. It's not like being at the Chicxulub where we got a bunch of Bograts. In this, the actual park has culture, and I just thought that was the neatest thing for me as a kid to see it that way, and that's why I fell in love with New Orleans disc golf, is through that park culture itself.
And Silas brought up the Southern Nationals, and I'm glad he did, because I wanted to touch on that with you, Matteo. I know that your late father, had a lot to do with Southern Nationals. What kind of a wave have you seen those events cause with? Southern disc golf has produced some historic names that have competed out on the Disc Golf Pro Tour, including yourself. But what has Southern Nationals meant to the history of our sport?
I think it really kept the South going for a while and kept the scene going, because, disc golf started in Los Angeles, everybody knows, and that's why I want the World Championships there eventually soon, because I feel like it needs to go back to where it started. But I think the Southeast was the second part of disc golf where it grew. The first ever PDJ tournament was right outside Mobile at a place called Styx Rivers, where I know pretty well, and that was the first PDJ tournament in '79. So, in Florida, Alabama has Bronze Springs is the third oldest course in the world. So, I know the South had a big part of transitioning from California to the next part of the growth. But the Southern Nationals didn't really go to '96, but my dad just wanted to self-grow the game. He always thought that they should put $1 from everybody's entry fee in the world to the World Championship, not for the Open. Everybody that plays Masters gets their dollar donated to the World Championship, so we can self-grow the sport by having the World Championships as the permanent disc golf event. So he tried to use that as an example to self-grow. That's why we had the Southern National Championship, to have a big payout. He just tried to use it as an example for us to kind of self-grow the sport ourselves, And by doing that, he kept us all competing in us as a family. And honestly, it would have probably stayed that way if it wasn't for the player rating. I feel like that's a big part of the transition of why people have gone to PDJ, in my opinion. But seeing that have a big part of the history and held the grounds for us to be into the spot we are now. I love you, Dad.
Yeah, thank you, Jim. And Cadence, have you ever played a Southern Nationals event? You're kind of coming from a different generation. Can you kind of speak on your experience with that?
I can't even tell you what that is. I think
So
I've
sweet.
heard my dad talking about it before. It's the thing it's not PDJ. It's separate run events that aren't rated, right? I don't really know much about it other than that it doesn't really happen anymore, I think.
Yeah.
But when I started playing, I think I played my first tournament in 2015, and I played PDJ events since then on. So I've just never had experience with that, honestly.
And what has your experience been like with the city of New Orleans this week?
In New Orleans, it's been great. We've gotten out of the Airbnb a bunch. We've done some other cool things. Like today, we went to the aquarium and we saw a bunch of the aquatic life, and we learned kind of about what is it called, the bayou. Learned more about the bayou animals, and we also did a swamp tour, so we got to go see that. And I've been trying a lot of new foods, which is very unusual for me because I'm kind of a picky eater. But I tried crawfish for the first time and oyster and stuff like that, so it's been pretty cool to see a completely different culture than what we have.
Yeah. And I want to dive into the course with you, Cadence. Can you kind of speak on how your experience has been with the FPO layout?
It has been interesting. This course, I feel like, doesn't really compare to any other course I've played before. It's pretty long for an FPO course, and it's not my favorite course on tour, but it's been really interesting to kind of play it over and over and see it kind of change, like the game plan change. Because you play this hole and you think it's super hard, and you play it again, you're like, well, actually, I could take this line, which I didn't even see the first time, since there's 3 or 4 lines on every hole, it feels like. And also, I feel like there's a lot of holes that you need to play for par. There's not a lot of scoring opportunities on our layout for us. So I think having a smart game plan and accepting that maybe a 100-footer or 60-footer is the best you can do is good for your game.
And you mentioned that not a lot of scoring opportunities. You're going to be playing for par. For you personally, when you are trying to play these holes for par, are you going for more distance off of the tee, or are you trying to take less distance and place the shot to open up the next line?
It depends on the hole, because some of them, the landing zones are super small, and if you miss it, then you're kind of just pitching out from where you are. But I feel like a lot of them, it's the second shot that I find super hard. Like the tee shots, I'm kind of confident where I'm landing, but then from there, I'm not really sure how to get to the basket. So I'm throwing fairways to distance driver off every hole, but then maybe trying to place my second shot in a safer spot and not trying to get crazy with that.
And what do you feel is going to be like a competitive score per round and potentially competitive to win the tournament?
I have no idea. I haven't played a scoring round yet.
Okay.
I would guess that even would be in the top 10 this week. Last week at the other Pro Tour event, even did not cash. But this time I think it'll be top 10. I'm not sure what the winners are. You can never predict. Someone might somehow shoot 10 down. Although I don't think that will happen. But they could.
And based on your previous experience, where would you rate this course as far as difficulty to others you've played on the Disc Golf Pro Tour?
I think to par, this might be the hardest course that we play on tour this year. I can't think of another course that would be harder to par.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head.
Wow. Well, I'll move back to you guys, Silas and Matty-O, and ask you the same question, Silas. Where would you rate this MPO layout as far as difficulty?
Yeah, I think it's very difficult. I think different courses have different levels of difficulty or different things that make it difficult. Like I think I didn't play it, but like the Estonia Disc Golf Festival last year was difficult because you had to birdie everything. Mm-hmm. This one is difficult because you're trying to get any birdies and then preserve those by playing smart the rest of the way. So I think it's a new challenge that we don't see very often. I've been enjoying kind of the level of dissecting you have to do to figure out, like, there's a lot of ways to play for par, you know what I mean? And so trying to figure out what's your best way, what's the highest percentages and shots to throw. I think it draws an interesting line between gaining distance and precision, you know what I mean? And so, like, there's some gaps that you need the distance driver in your hand, but it feels like you're not going to hit the gap if you're holding that, so then maybe you switch down to the fairway. And so I think it takes a level of understanding your game and your tendencies and specialties to execute a good round. So I think it's an interesting challenge, and it's a very tough course mentally. It's very far. You get hungry halfway through, you know what I mean? Things like that. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's taxing, but it's a new, unique challenge that I'm excited to play.
Matty-O, same question for you.
I think it's definitely the hardest. It kind of makes me think of the New London, though, because we played their Pro Tour Championships. Me and Casey White got done playing, and I was like, this is by far the hardest course I've ever played. Like, what's the unknown was kind of there, and then everybody seemed like they shredded it. So that kind of makes me, but I think the neatest part about this week is the unknown. Like, what's the strategy? I think it's going to be a super tight field because of how much we're going to play for par. So I feel like the field's going to be extremely tight all the way around. And I think it's going to bring some exciting finishes. And I think there could be a possibility of a winner that's never won here before, even though it's the longest course that's ever been put. I think there's some very possibilities that we're going to see names that nobody expected, even though it's the longest course in the world, but they might not be the furthest thrower on tour as well. So I think having all the shots, I think, is very important here. A good standstill sidearm is important. Being able to move the disc around, and you got to make some long putts.
Yeah. Well, Matteo, you've kind of made a career out of hitting really thin gaps with power. And Silas just mentioned, you've got to have to question whether or not you're going to throw driver off the tee. How do you feel you are going to find more success out here? Are you going for that kind of bomb and scramble, or are you backing off on the tee?
I'm kind of going with as much confidence as I can to hit the gap, and then I want it to go as far, straight, and low as possible. And that's kind of like my strategy, I would say, on about 11 or 12 holes, where I'm literally making sure I hit the gap and just get far down there while throwing a golf shot, kind of throwing the kind of Ken Climo low, just kind of get it down there, put it in play, make sure it hits flat. Grass is pretty thick out here, so it is nice on that, but just trying to get in a good spot and just kind of hope for the best of where it lands, and then see what the whole nother strategy after that. There's so many different ways you can play the hole. There's 3 or 4 different windows. I just go for the biggest gap. Even if that's not the shot I want to throw, I'm going to do that this weekend.
And I've heard a lot of MPO players talk about potentially going over the top. Is that something that you found is going to work for you?
I threw over the top a few times yesterday during the Pro-Am, and it was pretty windy. Because, like I said, I'm going to go for the biggest route. I see sometimes the open the top kind of gets you guaranteed percentages to, get on the green. So I would definitely see me throwing over the top. Definitely on number 12. Or 13, 12, one I kind of thought I was looking at you on. You're like, what are you doing?
Oh, yeah.
And I thought that was the next tee,
Yeah.
that hole. Like, you got to throw. I'd definitely be throwing over the top on that one, for sure.
Well, it's a brand new layout for the Pro Tour, and the question remains for us is what's going to be competitive? When we go to other courses, we kind of have an idea, like you're going to have to shoot 10 to 12. What do you guys both think for the MPO? What's the total winning score potentially going to be?
It's so hard. It's so hard to say. That's I think what Matt was saying, there's so much unknowns, and that makes this week so cool. That is probably the biggest unknown. We see courses that are so tough, and no one could have predicted that Ezra shoots a 14 at the Monster. That's no one. People would have laughed in your face if you had said that, but it happened. You know what I mean? And I don't think it's gonna I just can't put it past the best players in the world to not have one crazy round. So I think a hot round will be shot, and whatever you think is not possible, maybe just one past that or just at that, I think that's kind of around it. To give a number, I think for the total, if you can get it, past 16 under for the event, you're probably doing pretty good, you know what I mean? But I think for most people, we're just trying to keep all the rounds under par, and if you can do that and shoot 3 consecutive under par rounds, probably leaving a happy camper.
All right, 16. That's as low as I've heard. Matteo, quick from
I'm
you.
going to go Baker's dozen and the hot round 7.
All right. Well, from Cadence, Matteo, Silas, thank you guys so much for your time. Good luck this week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Watch out for those snakes.
Oh, you'll hear me.
everyone. Welcome back in. We're here now with Jeff Spring, CEO of the Disc Golf Pro Tour, renowned disc golf course designer John Houck, and Violet Peters. She is the president and CEO of Visit Jefferson Parish. And Jeff, I want to start with you. Can you kind of walk us through how the first Disc Golf Pro Tour event in Louisiana arrived here at Parc des Familles?
Absolutely. Well, it's been a great team effort from all the different parties. Started a little under a year and a half ago. Houck Design was doing their annual conference here, and I was able to speak remotely at it. And in some follow-up, we made some connections. We go to sport tourism conferences, and so we connected with Randall, who represents Visit Jefferson Parish at Sports ETA, and made a general agreement to look to bring an event here. John has been the course designer here when the course went in, I think 7 or 8 years ago originally. So, there was some effort to just align roles and responsibilities. We needed to put in some course adjustments for the MPO division. Great course as is for the FPO division, but new alleys, lengthening some tees, lengthening some greens, and making room for spectators, and everything comes along with the Disc Golf Pro Tour event. And that's where, the park staff here came in and did an incredible job, really transforming the course. And obviously John's been on the ground a number of times here, reshaping it. And so, yeah, overall, the stakeholders of Jefferson Parish, Houck Design, and the tour have been working on the project, for over a year.
All right, and I'll take this over to you, Violet. What does it mean for the Jefferson Parish to see this come to life, to see the Disc Golf Pro Tour travel here and compete?
Well, we are super excited. This is an opportunity for us to really raise awareness about what we have here in Jefferson Parish, and the fact that the course is so much fun. I'm hearing that it's hard, which is exciting. That all of the players get to play a brand new course, but it means so much to us as well for the visitors to come and enjoy Jefferson Parish. One of the things that we really hope is that all of the visitors that come for the event get to enjoy Jefferson Parish like a local.
Yeah. Well, I can definitely touch on the fact that I've never seen a disc golf course played through a swamp before, and so we're certainly going to showcase the natural beauty of this area. Ran into a good timber rattler out there today, which is always fascinating.
Oh, nice.
But John, let's move on to you, because this course is already building a reputation. I've heard a lot of players say that it is truly the hardest course that has ever been presented to them on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Can you kind of touch on some of the work that you have put in to bring the best players in the world such a challenge?
Absolutely. We wanted to create new kinds of challenges for them, and let me just say, Jeff already mentioned the parish and their crews. Without the help of the New Orleans Disc Golf Club, they had 50 people out here last week. DGPT world record, right? And they're actually the ones who hired us for the job, so they've been amazing. I think what we're hearing from players is pretty much aligned with what I was expecting. We're seeing a lot of people having trouble getting to Circle 1, which is part of the design. And so, a lot of people are hoping to get to Circle 2, and that could mean 55 feet or 35 feet, which is a big difference. And so I think the ability to get that extra few feet could be a separator. Seeing something else that we hadn't even almost never seen before, especially on the par 4s, players making the decision on the tee that they want to play for par. Disc golf has always been about, I want to birdie this hole, I want to birdie this hole. And people are saying it takes such execution on 2 shots to get the birdie, maybe it's smarter for me to play for par. And that's a great strategy option that we're just not used to, and that they're not used to. So there are a lot of things going on. Of course, the most obvious thing I would expect for a lot of people is that there's no OB rope, except around the water features.
All right.
And the road, which doesn't really come into play. Of course, the parish built a new pond for us, and mounds, and It's amazing to me that we did all this essentially in 3 months.
Wow.
And we're very happy with where we got to, and we can't wait to see how it goes.
Well, Jeff, can you kind of touch on what goes into the evaluation of determining whether or not, like, John Houck designs this property? How much does the Disc Golf Pro Tour have a say in some of that design, and whether the holes are potentially too hard or still need some adjustments?
In this case, we have not had a lot of input, and I think that's okay. John's a master designer, maybe the most prolific designer, definitely the most prolific designer in our sports history. We do advise and consent in a lot of areas. I think the way this project came together, we have trust in John to put this course together and have a challenge for the pros.
And what has your experience been like walking the property and seeing some of this brand new environment that the tour is playing through?
Well, when I first came, I was blown away at the beauty, the cypress trees, the effort that it took to put the course in the first place. With the swampy area, there's a lot of fill that's been brought in. Obviously, grass seed. I've heard over 80 acres have been seeded and grown with grass. I think that coming back now, of course, I haven't been able to come in the last couple months due to the birth of my daughter, which is exciting as well. But coming back now and seeing it, I think it presents a unique challenge on the tour. Really, the last time I felt like a challenge like this was presented to players was probably the debut of the new Northwood Black course, which really befuddled players in year one and created outcomes that we weren't used to seeing on tour. Like, I think 7 down was a hot round. I think we're in that realm here. And of course, I think as courses like this that are presenting these unique challenges, and John spoke to them, so I won't repeat them, I think that players will figure it out over the course of the practicing this week, over the course of competing this week, but in years to come as well, as the course, kind of evolves a little bit, or at least kind of players get to really know it a little bit better. So it's been an incredible experience. I don't think that there's been a project coming to fruition quite like this on the tour. So I'm he mentioned the club. I'm really grateful for all the club's work, and Nathan, the assistant TD, is the president of the club, and Rob, the course director, is the treasurer of the club. So great integration all around, and just kind of really looking forward to the competition at this point.
Thank you, Jeff, and congratulations on the birth of your daughter. Can't wait to meet her. And Violet, I want to get back to you because I want to hear from your perspective with Jefferson Parish. Why disc golf? How did this come to be?
Well, our parish president, Cynthia Lee Shang, has really caught the vision of sports tourism.
Okay.
So she's had her own personal experiences with various sports, with raising her children, and really understands, kind of spoke our language, if you will, on the value of sports tourism.
Yeah.
So over the course of her tenure in office, she's really narrowed that focus. And then, of course, the parish council. We were very, very blessed in Jefferson Parish to have a council that truly understands the value of tourism and what it means to our local economy as well, and the fact that we have this opportunity to share with the world our natural beauty, as we talked about, our food. Some of the other players were talking about our food and our music, and all of those things combined to make us such a tremendous compliment next door to New Orleans, that this was something that we saw an opportunity that we could excel in. being the only course of its kind in the whole state of Louisiana
Yep.
is very significant for us. So really, as both of the gentlemen here have spoken about the collaboration, that's really what's happened. It's been a tremendous amount of collaboration between the parish administration, the parish council, along with Visit Jefferson Parish, and several actually of the parish departments. You mentioned the Parks and Recreation and the heavy lifting they've done. There's been a tremendous amount of people working together and making sure that we can do what we're doing right now in streaming and the technology, all types of aspects of what needed to happen. Everybody got on board. We all wanted to make sure that this was a tremendous success so that we not only see what we're seeing this weekend, but we see visitation throughout the entire year for people to come play the course, experience Louisiana, Southeast Louisiana, along with it, and our nature and our food. We know that people come, they know that they're going to come to enjoy our food. So people, they really come to expect to gain 5 pounds before they leave, right? And we're happy to showcase the best of Louisiana food, right? So.
Well, this piece of land, I would love to hear a little bit more about it, because it just feels like a massive, like seemingly untouched part. Can you touch on the history here? I see there's a mountain bike course just up the way. Can you kind of touch on the history of this piece of land?
Well, the West Bank of Jefferson Parish has been a focus of development and utilizing our natural assets that to our advantage, if you will, and be able to showcase the unique qualities of Jefferson Parish. And so Parc des Familles is no exception. We've got a lot of opportunity for growth and development and for it not to look like everything else, right? And so this is an example of something that's very unique and has been very carefully curated to determine how we're going to use this to the best advantage of our area. So we've also got several other things that are happening nearby of Jefferson Parish that have been developed and growth, and we really expect that the West Bank of Jefferson Parish will really grow significantly over the next decade.
All right, thank you. And Jeff and John, this is for both of you. I heard some talk about the grass and the timing of the mowing, and this is an interesting discussion, because how thin or how short the grass is rather kind of plays into how the course plays with skips or lack of. And can you kind of touch on the difficulty of finding the proper timing of mowing to get the course or a specific hole to play the way that you want it to, John?
Well, we had a deadline of December 10th to be done with the work so they could plant everything and grade everything and give it 3 months before the course reopened. And that was basically like a week and a half ago. So my understanding is that they mowed twice last week, Wednesday and Saturday. And I've never been in this situation. I don't know that anybody in the tour has been in the situation where the playing surface is this new. So by, Tuesday and Wednesday, players are going, I'm not getting any ground action. This is too thick. And we talked to the parish. I talked to Jeff. And next thing you know, there were 5 mowers out on the course yesterday. Wow. And they got, as far as I know, they got everywhere and they got everything knocked down. So right now it's about as good as it could possibly be.
Yeah, I would just say that it's traditional to get a mow week of, a final mow. And that's what happened here. And of course, the grass will grow from now to the end of the competition. But in disc golf, obviously, it's not as important to mow, quite as important as in ball golf. Traditionally, we don't mow in an event, even at like an event like USDGC. So the grass length will potentially change at events throughout the course of the competition. But I think players know that and have come to expect it. We have a mowing schedule like at Fox Run at the Green Mountain Championship in Vermont that's consistent over the years, and it does include basically a Tuesday, Wednesday mow. So I think it's right on track here. But the ryegrass that they've planted is beautiful out there. I think that people will love seeing it. I've heard a lot of comments about how beautiful and luscious the grass looks in the fairways here. So they did maybe too good a job because that stuff's growing really fast. So
Yeah. Jeff, can you kind of touch on these teapads? This is something that we've never seen before. And can you offer some clarification on where the teeing surface really is?
Sure, I'll kick it to you in a minute, John, because they are Hauk Design teapads, and Dee has had this concept, and seeing it brought to life here is really exciting. The red box it defines the teeing area where there is a red box. There are some tees that don't have markings, and the entire teapad is the teeing surface there. If a player, does release the disc, outside of the teeing area, it would be a footfall.
Okay.
So that's a clarification there. I think my take is that this is, a concept that a lot of people have maybe dreamt about, and in terms of just seeing, the ability to give a player a consistent run up from any angle, and I've heard people say, "Hey, did you build these for James?" Because everybody knows about James Conrad's famous run-up length.
Yeah.
But I think I'm excited to see them in competition. Excited to have a debut at a tour event here. Thankful for the Hauks for innovating here. And John, I don't know if you want to speak for Dee any further on them.
Well, I appreciate your clarification. This is Dee's genius idea. She's been working on this for years, studying how players throw, and she understood the need to have a consistent surface so that players don't have to worry about their footwork. They can concentrate on their drive, and after they throw, they can follow through without having that worry too. So I've heard basically universally from players that they appreciate that opportunity to come in from the angles or from the back, not have to worry about their follow through, and they can just concentrate. And so the hope is that it will develop consistency and accuracy, allow players to innovate in the way that they tackle their drive, because they're not distracted by all these other concerns. And then the lines are there to enrich the commentary so that commentators can use them as guidelines where one player started, where another player started. People at home can see the differences between players, and players themselves, not just the people here this week, but anybody who comes and plays this course in the future, can use those lines as a guide for, well, I was on the blue line this time and that didn't quite work out. Maybe I'll move 6 inches to the left next time. So it should be great for spectators and commentators and anyone who ever plays this course.
Right.
And we don't even know where it's going to lead. We hope it's going to help players be able to perform better and work great for other clients and whatever their needs might be in tee areas.
All right. Well, I'll close with this. From the perspective of the tour, Violet, it's an honor to be here. This is just a great part of the nation to really find yourself in. I'm excited to be on this beautiful piece of land competing. And from the perspective of a fan, John and Jeff, I'm very excited to see how this course plays out. It's already building quite the reputation. So thank you guys all for being here and for the work that you've put in. So thank you.
Thanks, Nate.
Thank you, Nate.
All right, welcome back into the press conference. We're here with Ida, Simon, and Heidi. And Ida, I'll start with you. How's your experience been traveling over from Florida here to the area of New Orleans?
You know, I've had a great time. This is also my first time traveling to the U.S. alone without my dad. So it's been a learning experience for sure, and having Ellie and Emily with me has been really helpful. So gotten to know them as well has been really fun, and yeah, I've just had a great time really.
What's the balance for you right now between preparing for the disc golf tournaments and kind of just experiencing the United States in general?
I think I've had like a good mix of doing both. But I came to the U.S. like with a headspace of this events will be like a learning experience, getting to know my discs as well with my new bag and stuff. But I feel like learning my discs has gone really well, and I feel comfortable with my bag and confident. So yeah, I think it's going to be exciting to play this event as well. The course is really challenging, but getting some pars and some birdies here and there will be really good, yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll touch on the course in just a moment. Simon, I want to ask you the same question. New area. You've gone to every city that the Disc Golf Pro Tour has ever visited, right? What did you make when you saw that we were going to a new city?
Always stoked to go to a new place. Actually, last time I was in New Orleans area was 12 years ago, deep in the game tour with Avery Jenkins.
Yeah.
Where I think I only got to play one of the local courses. This place obviously did not exist yet. But yeah, I got my first crawfish.
Played the city park.
Yeah, I think I played, I don't know if I played all of it or most of it or some of it. But yeah, Southern hospitality is incredible. When I saw this tournament pop up last year, man, just excited for a new place, new challenge, and new people.
And same question for you. How much do you prepare for the tournament versus just go experience the city, especially if it's a new area?
I'd say right around 50-50. Half the day is dedicated to warm-up practice, learning the disc, learning the course, and then the other half is taking in the local scene and meeting new people, seeing new places, eating new food.
It's Casey White's birthday last night. You guys go out. How was it?
Yeah, actually in the parking lot here yesterday, I ran into a local who challenged me to a pool match. So I went to a pool hall, local pool hall, really cool, and got to play an hour and a half of pool with a local disc golfer. That was awesome. He ended up driving me downtown to Bourbon Street where Casey was hanging out with probably like 15 different touring pros. We walked into the dueling piano bar and it was fun. Only hung out for like an hour and a half maybe.
Yeah.
But I'm old. That's what I do now. Just show up, say hi, and leave.
Well, did you win the pool match?
I think it was a tie.
So he's good.
He's very good, of course. He wouldn't have challenged me, I think, without that. But the table we played on was like disc golf on marksman baskets. It was like the smallest pockets I've ever seen. He said that's Louisiana style.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Heidi, it's good to see you. First, I want to touch on the health of your knee. How are you?
I'm good, and knee is okay, but the total rehab time is about 1.5 year, and now it's 10 months. So my knee is not 100% well, but I can play, so it's most important.
Yeah, can you touch on the decision to travel over here even without 100% health?
It's too long time if I wait 1.5 year, and because I can play, but I can't play ice hockey or Finnish football or something contact hobbies, but I can play disc golf, so it's good.
All right. Well, I want to get right into this course because Cadence was just on here and said that it is outright the hardest course that the FPO have ever seen. How many times have you played it this week, and would you agree or disagree with that statement?
Yesterday I traveled from Dallas, so today morning I play first and last practice round, and the course was hard. So I have only one goal, hit the cat, and then it's okay.
Well, we've played in Finland many times, and we know that it is often trending toward technical and tight lines from Finland. How do you feel like this kind of compares with how tight the gaps are?
today I hit very well the caps, so it feels okay. And the course is okay. We have tight caps,
Yeah.
but still tight caps is everywhere. So if you missed cap, maybe you have new cap. So I don't know. I like
Yeah.
this course.
You like it?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Ida, over to you. Would you agree or disagree with Cadence's statement that this is potentially the hardest course that the Disc Golf Pro Tour has ever seen?
I haven't played all courses on tour, so I don't really know about that. But I really agree that this is a hard course, but maybe not the hardest course, I don't think.
Yeah.
Because like Heidi said, there's always another gap that you can take. And I do really like this course. I think it's beautiful with the unique trees as well. So yeah, I'm really excited to play out here. And yeah.
And are you tending toward more power off the tee and to just take what line you can get, or are you trying to really place your shots out there?
Yeah, I'm definitely trying to play some shots out there. Yeah.
Well, Simon, what's your take on the MPO layout?
Brutal. I played the Pro-Am yesterday, so I got to play with 4 AMs yesterday that actually played the FPO layout.
Mm-hmm.
And on most of the holes, I thought this could be an MPO layout. So I can see the challenge on the FPO side for sure. But then the MPOT was like 100 to 150 feet behind the FPOT, with sometimes just a gap where you really just look over the trees and try to find kind of the cheat code, like a kind of throw and hope kind of crash shot into the fairways and then go from there. I've listened to all the John Houck interviews, of course. I'm a big fan of his philosophy of course design, and most of his courses I've played have been, top 10 on my list of favorite courses.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, he really set a new bar, maybe a new standard. I don't really know.
Mm-hmm.
I heard him say that the Circle 2 looks is what he was going for, and it's just different and new for us, that feeling of we throw a lot of par 4s and 5s. We throw 2 or 3 phenomenal shots, and we're rewarded with a 50-footer for birdie.
Mm-hmm.
And that's if you lace 2 shots, like, perfectly. So it's just a new style. Change is hard. And I think whoever can just accept that this week and just kind of find almost like a new mindset on a course like this will have a good time and probably be the most successful. But it's true. I don't think I've ever played a harder course to get birdies on. I've played 26 holes so far, and I've had 2 birdies.
2 birdies, 26 holes. That's a pretty big statement coming from you. Well, you touch on going over the top, potentially, kind of praying for an outcome. Do you feel that, that John has provided a challenge that's too great that the tour is potentially not going to face it directly, and they're going to try and cheat the system?
I think disc golf is still looking for what it really is or could be. I went to one of John Houck's seminars a couple years ago, and he compared obviously disc golf to golf, and what are the exciting points of golf, where is disc golf beating golf, where is disc golf lacking or kind of less exciting. And the putting green was one of his big points, that putting in golf is really suspenseful. You see the ball slow rolling over the green. Is it going to go in? Is it not going to go in? And in disc golf, putting is a little easier, and a lot of the times if we're inside the circle or on the green, you expect most of the top guys to make basically 90 to 100% of every putt.
Yeah, suspension's not
which
really there.
Was a lot less exciting, first of all, and also a putt from 30 feet takes about 1 or 2 seconds to get to the basket. So I think that was his main idea behind this course, is that he wanted to make the putting different and more exciting, more suspenseful, possibly more entertaining and exciting maybe. But we'll see how many 50-footers we can squeak in this week. I think that's what it might come down to.
All right. Well, Heidi, I want to ask you, you mentioned that you're just one practice round and then you're done, and you've got a big smile on your face. There's no fear going into a Disc Golf Pro Tour with just one practice round.
I'm only happy that I'm here back.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit nervous coming back. 10 months take rest is long time, but I I don't think so much. If I hit cap, I can play good round. The holes was easy, see the lines. So I have feel that I don't need more practice round now.
Yeah.
And because my goal is play only 3 rounds, and this is first tournament this year, so yeah, I don't play the best. Maybe I don't play my best rounds tomorrow or this tournament, but
Maybe you do.
Maybe it's happened, but yeah, I am played more rounds with one leg, without planned leg.
Wow.
During last year in outside.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, Haiti, what's it like for you coming from, a frozen wonderland to like this bayou? What is that experience like, seeing these bald cypress trees with the moss hanging down and the sunshine and potentially a gator or some snakes? What's that like?
Amazing, different, totally different.
Yeah.
Because in Finland we have snow. It's smell now, but still we have snow, and here it's warm. Okay, today morning was cold, but now it's warm, and yeah, it's amazing.
And Ida, same question for you. I mean, I know you were in Florida a couple weeks ago, but what's the experience like for you, this being so different from your homeland of Norway?
I have always been a person that loves summer more than winter. So I think it's great to come here to warmer weather and the sun, high 80s all the time. But it was actually snowing at the airport when I left home. So that was pretty cool, like walking out of the airport in Florida and like getting hit by the warmth, Yeah, it was pretty good.
And Simon, you were touching on, course design and kind of zooming back a little bit and mentioning how John is really trying to do something different and kind of change our sport. And one of the things that, regardless of how this course plays out, that I feel that it's accomplishing is showing us a new setting, right? Because disc golf can be played anywhere. And sometimes we play it at a boring ball golf course, and sometimes we play at a swamp. So what is this experience like for you, playing in this completely new terrain?
This is something I've never seen before. I think not a very common scenery for any place, really. It is kind of unbelievable we get to throw frisbees where we are throwing frisbees this week. I don't understand how it's possible to put that much sand somewhere, and then, playing through lush green grass through these cypress trees is pretty special. Yeah, I got to keep that in mind this weekend.
Yeah, even when you can't find the line, it feels pretty special out there. That's kind of what I've seen walking the course. I'm like, I don't know where you're supposed to throw, but this is pretty.
It's unbelievable. It almost doesn't look real. I've seen photos and videos of this course in the past, ever since it's been created. It's been on the bucket list ever since I first saw it, and yeah, it's fairy tale land, I call it.
All right. Well, thank you guys all for your time today, and hope you guys enjoy the week. Haiti, good luck. Simon,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ida, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice.
All right, welcome back into the press conference. You guys know them. It's Gannon, Owen, and Taylor. You guys were just chatting off camera about, was it the crawfish boil that you went to last night? Let's go down the line, Gannon. What do you think?
I mean, I was just saying, it tasted really good, but I didn't like the whole process of having to open it, and it wasn't even for that much meat, so I was kind of bad at it. So I probably wouldn't do it again, but it tasted good.
Well, for me, it's just it's fun. For me, it's fun thing to do. It's kind of meditate for me. It's kind of tweak the hand and crack here, crack there. I mean, It's fun. It's fun.
Taylor, what did you make of it?
Yeah, I was somewhere in the middle. I ate a good amount, but yeah, I'm not super fond of all the mess the whole time, but it was good. It was good. And it was the experience, so it was good for this time.
Well, I think we saw you out on a swamp tour as well. What was that experience like?
Yeah, it was awesome. We had a super cool guide. He was missing one of his fingers from actually getting it bit off by a gator.
Wow.
But he's still out there giving tours and still petting gators. There's a 15-foot gator that he was just hand feeding. So not that surprised he was missing a finger, but he obviously loves what he does. And we got to hold a little baby this big that he was able to catch for us from the wild. So that was pretty cool.
All right. And Owen, have you been to this area before? And what has your experience been like this week in New Orleans?
This is my first time. Great, I love the food. I'm a seafood fan. And also we got invited to the private beer tasting. We was have so many amazing beer tastes, and after that they took us to the swamp tour. We see a gator, it was like gator and a little bit drink, so it's fun. It's fun.
You're having the authentic experience, it sounds like. The beer tasting and the gators and the
yeah,
crawfish.
snake too, snake.
You've seen some
Hello?
snakes?
Oh yeah, at the course.
At the course.
Surprise, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah, this noodle is dangerous.
Yeah, I saw a
Yeah.
big timber rattler. It's incredible.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Scary.
Well, Gannon, you're so young, but you're so well traveled now because of disc golf. I mean, what is it like to come to this new city and still see something completely new?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too much of a culture guy or even exploring cities and stuff. I just play the course, honestly. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's pretty cool. I like wildlife, so I definitely like seeing. I don't want to get too close to them, but I like seeing the snakes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'm always down for a new property, a new part of the country, because typically you're going to have a lot more fans that are really dedicated to come out to watch these events because they haven't had a chance to do anything like that before. So I always like coming to a new place.
How much time have you spent out here at the course? And just give it to me straight. What are your thoughts on this new John Houck design?
Yeah, so I've played 2 rounds so far, and my complete honest thoughts are I don't think it's tournament ready. I don't know too much about the FPO layout, but at least the MPO layout, I think it's going to need. I'm not sure. I have no idea what the deadlines were. Obviously, I'm sure it was tough to get enough volunteers out here. I appreciate all the work that was put in, but I just think it needs more time. I think about 9 of the holes are almost 100% luck based. So I think the potential is there to be a top 10 course in the world, no question. You have the beautiful green grass fairways. Obviously, John Houck has designed some of my favorite courses in the world. And, so he definitely knows how to take constructive criticism and make those changes. The biggest change the biggest problem I have with this course is almost every par 4, there's no way to the green. There's no possible way to reach the basket without. So I just throw over the top. There's about 7 or 8 holes out here. I'm throwing a sky ante roller or sky hyzer or just anything to avoid the fairway, or I guess what would be considered the fairway. But yeah, I just think it's going to be an interesting weekend. I mean, you could say the course is hard, but I would more just say it's kind of unfair than anything.
Yeah.
That's just my personal opinion on it. I think 90% of the pros are going to agree with me on that. And but like I said, the potential is there. You have all the distance you need. You have the woods. If you keep all those awesome cypress trees that we have and just kind of cut out the skinny ones, you're going to have one of the top 10 courses in the world probably here in the future.
So you say that 9 of the holes potentially aren't ready. Does that mean that the tee pad and the basket maybe are in an okay position?
Great spots.
But the lines are too thin, and that to be ready that you would need to potentially take some of those cypress trees out?
I think the cypress trees are fine.
Okay.
I think it's all the skinny ones that are anything that's not a cypress tree. I'm not I'm not a tree nerd, so I don't really know what else to call them, but they're just
Yeah.
like the skinny ones that don't have the big base, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, and so I was listening to some podcasts because I wanted to have an open mind. I wanted to, get all sides of the story when it came to this design. And it sounded like he really wanted to push players to make more putts and put them in the circle too.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem with that I'm seeing at this course specifically is that it's not even worth it because the routes to get to circle two, you still have to throw an amazing shot. And so I would rather just play a 100% luck-based shot that I'm doing all over the entire course. Basically, anytime I'm throwing the shot, I step up to a hole, I just figure out what's going to take away the bogey chance, and so usually that's an over-the-top shot for me. If I can just go over everything, and I've even done it on 18. I'm not sure if that triple Mando's in play for us, but on 18, I'm considering going Sky Annie from the back of the box, just because I think that's the best play. I think it was definitely an experimental idea that he had, try to push people to circle two, but I don't think players are finding it worth it. I think they're just like, I'd rather just play the luck to try to get a circle one look.
Dan, and thank you for the thoughts on the course. And Owen and Taylor, I want to bring it back to you. Can you kind of give us some more insight? Taylor, I'll start with you on this FPL layout.
Yeah, I totally get what Gannon's saying. And when I got my first round out here, I thought it was probably the hardest course that I've ever played, hardest course on tour by far. And the course that had that spot before was Olympus at Supreme Flight. And I'd say this course probably like twice as hard, if not more, than Olympus. I'm just glad that this is my second year on tour that we're playing this, because last year I would have not stood a chance, honestly. But after looking at some of the men's tees, I was like pretty grateful actually for where I get to play. And after getting a couple laps on it, every time I'm starting to like it a little more. And I feel like it's really pushing my control of the disc. And I'm mostly just throwing a buzz off of every tee and not really even trying to get, as much distance as I could. And I'm finding that I'm having a lot of C2 looks for birdies, and I'm really grateful that my C2 putting's been feeling really good, because that's almost the only way that I'm getting birdies on those par 4s and 5s. The 3s we can definitely get to, but I would say there's still some luck based on probably half of those par 3s. And other than that, I haven't noticed much opportunity for the women to go over the top, because I've definitely been looking for it. But I think since our tees are usually shorter and just into the trees, we don't have as much opportunity, or because of the length of the hole, it's maybe not really much of an advantage. So, yeah, that's what I thought.
All right. Thank you, Taylor. And Owen, same question for you. Give us your thoughts.
It's a very tough course. I have been playing here for 3 rounds. I don't have a lot of birdie going on. A lot of bogey instead, but I feel like compared with the Supreme Flight, right? This one probably 5 times harder. I mean, if you heard from my voice, it's probably heard from everybody's voice. Nothing lie about it. It's very hard. Even the woman teapad, I feel bad for them. The guy have to play even harder than us, but hey, they play better than us. But still, though, I feel like 3 rounds practicing. I would love to have more time to practicing, because I know like the more I practicing, the more I understand, and then have a plan where I want to land here and there. I feel like this course you have to have both, like backhand and sidearm, or otherwise backhand turn over. Yeah, you can do it, but when you have sidearm, it's help a lot too. So pretty much like this weekend, I was thinking about just throw and close my eye, or just throw and then hope for the best. I need luck. I need a lot of luck out here, especially, I try to just focus on the practicing or whatever, but the bottom of my mind, I'm scared of snake too. The snake is, I don't know, like I might have a hard time to even focus on the tournament round out here, because my eye will be like, ooh, it's a snake out here. But anyway, we are in the home, right? But like I said, it's not just only like the court is so tough, snake, everything. It's gonna get us, man. Yeah. We'll see. It's gonna be fun this weekend.
Well, Gannon, with your thoughts on the course, and it sounds like everyone is kind of in agreement that there is luck involved. When it comes time to play the tournament, how do you kind of put those opinions about what should or shouldn't be the fairway? How do you kind of put those to the side and put your best foot forward?
I mean, yeah, you just have to accept that you're not going to have a ton of control, but you have to be able to control what you can control. And that's, like I said, I think I actually am game planning quite a bit out here. And like I said, that means a lot of the time not taking the intended fairway, because we're all out here playing the same course. And I was even watching Ricky's breakdown of the course, and he wasn't complaining. He was kind of assessing the holes for what they were, and that's just what you're going to have to do out here. Obviously, like, everyone's going to get a bad kick. You're going to throw a shot right where you want to. It's not going to get through, and then you're going to shank one. And it's going to get through. It's going to happen to every single player this week. So you kind of have to just like have a good mental game. Like I said before, game plan is extremely important, and you got to be making your putts. So obviously, we've been doing this for a while out here, and it's a new challenge this week.
Hot round and the winning score.
I think someone could shoot maybe a 6 or a 7 under par, but I'm thinking if you shoot anywhere between maybe 12 and 16 under, you could have a chance to win the tournament. I mean, Calvin and I played doubles yesterday. We shot 12 down, and we almost played perfect in doubles. So, I mean, yeah, I don't see the winning score even getting close to 20 under.
And same question for both of you. Owen, do you keep score in your practice rounds, and where do you kind of feel the hot round for the FPO will end up?
Personal, for me, I never keep the score when I'm practicing because I'm all like do like crazy stuff. I throw so much, I putt so much. I'm just keep playing. But I feel like this weekend, 3 and 5 under for the women, that should be the queen of the wood, Yeah. So I feel like, but also, like Gannon said, just you need to prepare yourself tomorrow. Everybody gonna hit the tree, kick to the wood. Don't beat yourself up, Just so you know, it's gonna happen. Everybody gonna go through the same. So just pick up yourself up and then keep move on. Just try to pitch out and just go along with it. Like this is the wood course. So what else you can do? So just keep your head high tomorrow.
Taylor, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with that. 3 to 5 down, maybe a 6 if someone is really hot, but I wouldn't see it like building to 15. I would think maybe more close to like a 10 at the end of the weekend would have a good chance of taking it down.
You never know, yeah.
I think if you're under par, you're feeling pretty good out here, like under par for the whole tournament. You're probably happy with where you're placing because a lot of people are saying it's a thrower's course, which I can kind of agree because I'm getting to good spots as like a good thrower, but you still have to make good putts even with those good throws. So I think it's just testing like the all-around game, and whoever can bring all sides of their game together this weekend is going to come out on top.
Well, I'd love to let this plane pass. I'd love to hear what you learned from your second place finish in Florida. Going into a tournament, coming off your best Disc Golf Pro Tour finish ever, how has your confidence been affected from that finish?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I feel like I have a lot more control of my discs than last year, especially just being able to lean on the buzz and the zone a lot and realizing that most of the FPO courses really don't demand us to be throwing anything faster than that. Unless it's just for like a really specific shot and there's not much like danger, then I'll be maybe going fairway or driver. I played in the Pro-Am yesterday and went driver a few times for fun and like had some really good shots, but going up to the lie, they didn't really get me anything more than my buzz was getting. So yeah, feeling good after last weekend, knowing that I can just count on the slower speed discs and count on my putt.
And I see that you've built quite the friendship with one of your division's great champions in Owen Scoggins. And can you tell me what you have learned from practicing with her and experiencing her throughout a tournament?
Yeah, I mean, I would say the confidence is higher than anyone else in the field, and for having kind of the not as much distance or maybe not as much shot shapes for her own choosing as a lot of the field. Having that confidence is pretty impressive, and obviously the putt is incredible. And then on top of that, just being like a really good friend and competitor to everyone she plays with, you can tell that she's rooting for people to shoot good disc golf, whether it's like your friend or not. She just wants people to play well and push her to playing well as well.
And Owen, can you kind of touch on the potential that you see blossoming in Taylor's game?
Oh God, from last year and this year, totally different game. Like she just her drive is more control, her putting is on, and her sidearm is getting stronger. So pretty much like she I don't know, she probably like practiced a lot. I can tell. Like like the practice is pay off everything. So I know she put a lot of hour on it. I saw her game here and there, but this year was like big time step up. Like I feel like she deserved it because in my mind I'm gonna see her win here and there, and I'm gonna be there when she win. But I know it's gonna happen. Just don't know when, but it's gonna happen because she have been work hard on it, and she's cool chick, come on. Yeah, she's cool and she's young, so she have a good future waiting for her. Yeah.
Well, you're coming off the win in Florida, and a man to your right, coming second place, woman to your left, second place, and Gannon, you finished the tournament 2 weeks ago with a course record approaching 1,100 rated round. How hungry are you to follow that up, that second place finish up with a win this week?
Yeah, I think in the back of my mind, I'm always trying to repeat what I did in my 2024 season, getting 9 wins. And so it's something I've always struggled with the last 3-4 years has been getting off to a hot start on the tour. Typically, it takes me about 6 events to win my first event. And so it's my last weekend or 2 weekends ago was my best finish I've had in 3 years since I had that playoff in Vegas when I was 16. So I think it's important for me to try to get a win early here in the season and get going early, because I think there are a lot of courses that do suit my game in this first third of the stretch of the tour. So I want to pick up a couple wins. That way I can, usually I tend to heat up toward the middle end of the year. And so if I can already have a couple wins going into that stretch, I'm going to be feeling pretty good. But I think it's definitely just felt so nice to have that, super hot round early in the season because it's kind of tough to get going sometimes. But once I saw that first round happen, I feel like I'm playing pretty comfortably.
And Taylor, there must have been a moment during potentially the final round where you visualize yourself holding the trophy and being a champion on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Can you kind of touch on how it feels to be that close and to know that it's potentially in your grasp?
Yeah, I mean, going into the final day in the lead was a totally new experience for me, and just being on, feature card, playing with the best. So obviously I knew I had a chance to win. I thought if I put down another 6 down, then I would have that chance. And in the first round, I was basically even through the front 9 and then got 6 down on the back 9. And then on that second round, I had a little hotter start to the front and then had a couple more on the back. So I knew it could happen anywhere. I didn't start the way I wanted, taking the bogey on 2 and the par on 1, but I still knew like I could get birdies, throughout the whole round. It just didn't quite come, but I was still really happy with how I played. Finished 18 with the birdie, knowing that was going to put me into the tie for second. So even still having that pressure, like knowing I have to birdie this hole, and obviously going OB off the tee and still getting the birdie, feels really good to finish the round like that.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for your time throughout this press conference, and best of luck meeting the challenge ahead of you this weekend. Taylor, Owen, Gannon, thank you guys.
Thank you. Thank you.